Where the hell is that? Saucy, don't! Saucy, stop it! Dude, why are you just sitting there like that? Oh, shit. Saucy! They're gone. They're gone! That's weird. It's a large pickup truck just sitting there with the interior light on. Some dude, I don't know. Maybe he was on his phone. I don't know. Kind of weird. Hi, Stroker Ace. How are you doing tonight? I'm feeling a little dehydrated. I've been like this almost all day because it was kind of warm today. And I've been outside most of the day. Ever since Doug finished the porch, I just can't stop spending my time on the porch. Ever since we started using the porch like this, it's not raining here, and I'm very disappointed by that. We were hoping to anyway, we were hoping to experience a thunderstorm or at least a good downpour because I love the sound of the rain. And from inside, you can't really hear it that well. But we have a metal roof on this porch now. We have a metal roof on the place too. But they had a metal roof installed 7 years ago, I think he said. His mother had it installed. Anyway, hi Martha. I love you. Tell Diesel I said hi and I love him too. Puts me to sleep. Yeah, me too. I told Doug I need a sleeping, like not a futon, but like a day bed out here. Because I've always wanted, we were just talking about this, I've always wanted a covered porch. All the years we've been together. 30 years together, and I've never had one till now. Doug went, well, you got one now. I got one now. Oh, he's sleeping. Okay. I'm just chilling out here with my saucy girl. I tell him you said hi, though. And tell him I love him, too. You gotta tell him both. I told you. We were sitting out here earlier, and my bug light activated. And you could listen to the bug being zapped, but then you could smell it. It was so rancid. My Nana had one. Really, a sleeping porch, like a day bed on her porch. I've always wanted. Now, we had a place in Nashville, North Carolina. By the way, that was the original Nashville. For anyone who didn't know, Tennessee was not the first one. But we owned a place there, and it had a giant front deck. And then it had a massive rear deck, and then an additional deck built off of that one. Well, the first back deck had an overhang. But when we bought that place, of course, we knew we had all those rescue animals, so we ended up turning that into one of the cat areas. So we had it sectioned off. So half of it was an enclosure with like limbs and branches and houses, like little igloos and stuff for the cats. So they would be protected. And then in the wintertime, we wrapped it in plastic, and we had it heated out there so that they would have heat. So, yeah, I never got to use that porch. It was covered and everything and had screen in it, but I never got to use it for that, because it was for the animals. But I got it now, and I'm enjoying it. And I don't even want to go in half the time. I just came out. Doug just went to lay down to go to bed. And he got home from work. He said he didn't feel good. He went to the store and got stuff for dinner. He came home. I started preparing the food. Sliced my finger open. Now I've got a slice of bacon wrapped around it. And it keeps breaking back open and bleeding. So... thank you for the thumbs up. And then he got up out of the shower, I wasn't terribly hungry. I was like, yeah, I ate late today, so I'm really not hungry. I had a grilled cheese. That's what I had today. And he said I'm gonna lay down for a while. Well, he laid down from like 6, maybe 5:40 until 9 o'clock. And I cut a jugular last year shaving. Oh my God! Don't even say that. Um, but he laid down. Uh, that was after I cut my finger, and he said I don't feel right. I don't feel good. I'm gonna lay down. It was pretty hot out today, humid more than anything, and he just started a new med, which is working phenomenal. So it takes a while to adjust to new meds. And I was like, okay, cool. So he laid down. I'm surprised he went to bed as early as he did because he slept for so long. But mm, blood's squirting everywhere. Lucky my girlfriend's a nurse. Oh my God! Puke emoji right here. Puke emoji. Oh my God. So gross. What is this here? No. Okay. It's funny what a mess that was. I bet as soon as I cut my finger, wait a minute, I'm gonna set y'all right. Maybe. Maybe I won't. Hold on. It's gonna fall. I know it is. As soon as I cut my finger, I grabbed it, right? Hi, Nina. Um, I grabbed it when I realized I sliced right over my thumb. House trailer park life. Uh, it's as quiet as neighborhoods are, I guess. It's inexpensive, I know that. Um, and I grabbed my thumb and I was like, ah! When Doug finally did come out, he said, well, Jack freaked out. I used to watch open heart surgeries on TV while eating dinner. Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, you're as bad as Doug. I can't do that. I can't. Um, but when he came out, after Jack was like, Pop, Nina cut herself. And then he ran in and said, oh, thank you, Nina. It's kind of a mess today, but thank you. It's been hot. And tonight is hair washing night, but since I cut my finger, I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to wash it tonight. I wash it every other night, and I think I might have to skip so Doug can wash it for me tomorrow night. But thank you. Always keep your hand above your head when that happens. Oh, I know. I just panicked tonight. Jack was like, how bad is it? Pop wants to know. I said, bad enough. And I had it under the water. Hi, Ava Farrar. Hope I didn't mispronounce that. I love the name Ava. It's a really nice name. But yeah, so you have nice vibes. You seem kind and down to earth. Well, I try to be. I got good and bad days. Thank you. And yeah, I am pretty down to earth. you know. He came out and he says, all right, now that I know you're okay, I'm going to go put on some underwear. Because he was wrapped in a towel around his waist to make sure his wife wasn't about to bleed out. And he said, honestly, I'm not trying to make a joke, but when you screamed out, I thought you were screaming because one of the tickets I brought you won money. He brought me 3 scratch tickets home. And he thinks about me and he brings me little things like that. And I love how we can be ourselves in here and actually swear. Oh, absolutely. Fucking yeah. Hell fucking yeah. Cuss. I don't care. Oh, well, about that, Stroker, here's the thing. There's a saying. What's the saying? I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I'm not. I don't ever want to fake who I am for popularity. Nobody should. Because then what have you done? You've surrounded yourself with folks that don't know you for you. And then you hear them say stuff and you're like, ooh, that applies to me, but they don't know it. And if they knew it, they wouldn't like me anymore. So you see what I'm saying? I don't want a bunch of phony people. I've also went and took a fake blood pack and broke it open on me and freaked the girlfriend out. Oh my God. I'd probably just fuss at the boys if they did that and be like, clean up this mess. Nah, I wouldn't fuss too bad, but I would make them clean it up, for sure. I got a fan on me. I don't know what the temperature is, but... So, any input on anything that people would like to see chat-wise on here? Because I have a person with a professional background. Fucking right. Who cares if you don't like me? Who cares? Can't please everyone. Exactly. It's not a popularity contest. Well, for some people it is. But, yeah, I don't see it that way. Hi, Amanda. She's one of my real life peoples. She is related to Baby Jack. But I've got a person of a professional background that could do some questions and answers, and I'm going to talk to her this week and see if she would come on a panel. She looks like a doll, LOL, cute. Who, Amanda? But we could do a topic Q&A. This person I'm talking about, she is a gardening and plant guru, pretty much, I think. And I'm going to talk to her, try to talk to her this week, see if she'll come on and we can do a topic. Professional people on the side chat can ask her questions and she can answer them about your plants or your gardening or the types of plants for specific areas of your yard or your home, you know, just whatever. Ferns, succulents, flowers, roses, whatever. So hopefully I can get her on. That would be one. And there's another one that is a wildlife, not wildlife, but okay, put it like that. She works at the zoo. She works at the zoo and how to grow good weed. LOL. Yeah, maybe she'd have some information. This other person works at the zoo and would love, I know she'd love to come on here and give some information on, I was going to just interview her for a video and put it out there, but a Q&A would be pretty cool. So, see if she'll come on and do a Q&A about different animals, you know, how they breed, how rare they are, blah, 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 blah. And I thought about doing that with a couple of other people with professional backgrounds once or twice a month. So what is some of the professional backgrounds you would like to see for questions and answers and all like that? And if I come across somebody with a genuine medical background, wouldn't that be cool, Amanda? I thought that would be really fun because that doesn't feed any drama machine. It's information for everybody, regardless of what side of the tube that they're on. This cat. Look at this cat. Ileana. She's been screaming. Hold on a minute. So, I'm going to find somebody with a medical background. I do actually have a friend that is a nurse, and I know she'd do it. And her mother's an RN, so maybe they'll do it together. Here, kitty, kitty, come, kitty, kitty. What's another one? I don't know. There's bound to be, like, an electrician. I know an electrician. Maybe I can get him to come on and do that. Someone somewhere will make it drama, especially your trolls. Yeah, you've been watching a while. Yeah. Anything I say or do, people take it personally and make it about themselves. It's so weird. But not people. Hardly anybody does it, but it happens. Woodworking. See, and I don't know anybody who does stuff like that, but thank you for the input. Do you mean like woodworking as in building things and creating and like using a lathe and a router? Or are you talking about, because there's a lot of videos already about that stuff. I mean, what kind of questions would you even ask a person who does that? And I don't know anybody. Now, my brother-in-law, he's really into that kind of stuff. He makes all kinds of neat shit. He made his daughter a box that had, like, you have to pull certain drawers to make other drawers open. It's like a pattern, which was really cool. It's like a puzzle box, I guess you call it. Well, he made that from the bottom up. Yes, ma'am. Hammer nails, stuff like that. Okay. Yeah. Like, that would be cool. And then Corey chats with an electrician equals Corey's leaving Doug for the Vepco man. Nobody knows what Vepco is but us. Vepco, Virginia Electric Power Company. I haven't heard Vepco in so long. But yeah, you're right, Amanda. You're right. See, here where I'm at, it's called JEA. Vepco. God, I haven't heard that in forever. Yeah, it's a Virginia thing. Is it cold out there? I wish I had a cat. Lime meow purr purr. Hi, Hammett. No, it's not cold. I've got a fan on because it's kind of stuffy out here. My uncle's we're at Virginia. I'm from Portsmouth. Hampton Roads area, Portsmouth, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Suffolk, Newport News, Hampton, right through there. Who are all these strangers? Husky, what strangers? Yes, it's cold here in Virginia. Weird for this time of year. This is weird for this time of year. It should be staggering hot, but it's not. It just can't make up its mind. It just keeps, down near the Kentucky border. It's like me and Doug were saying, it should be so stifling hot right now that you can't breathe. And the evenings are nice and cool, but there's a little heaviness in the air, a little humidity. Is the fan too loud? Can y'all hear this fan? Hold on. Right now the fan is off. Was it really bad? Hello, Harold. So if you guys know somebody of a professional background that would like to do this for a 1-hour Q&A, years ago, I had my friend Pansy on. She owned the vape shop in Rocky Mount. Do you think the shutdown of industry due to COVID is changing the environment? It's probably having a slight impact. I mean, how can it not? It has to. That's like saying, if you're not watering your plants, do you think it's drying out? Yeah, of course it is, because you quit watering them, But, yeah, I think it is having a slight impact. I don't think it's going to be a lasting one, because the damage we've done is going to take longer than that to heal this world, In my opinion, that's what says me. Finally caught a live stream. No, the fan wasn't too loud. Okay. Well, I don't really need the fan, so it feels pretty good out here. Come here, Saucy. But, so I could do the zoo girl. I can do, hopefully, the gardening girl. I gotta talk to her. And prettiest redhead I've ever seen. This woman is so pretty. And just as sweet, so nice, so nice. Come here. Let's see. I don't see any hurricane straps on that roof. Doug is going to fail his inspection. There's no inspection for this kind of stuff. Because it's not an enclosure. It's just a roof on a existing porch. Not all of them. I had a best friend that was a redhead when I was a kid, and she wasn't fiery. She had red hair. I think some of them use it as an excuse to be that away. In my experience, I've known a couple of redheads. Um, but no, this is up to look, Skiwi. He even put. Hold on. Blondes have more fun. He even put those up to reinforce it, and he put the lag bolts to hold it in place. Hi, Brandon. Gingers are soul snatchers. Gingers are soulless. And he put them here too, see? So, yeah. We're up to code. We're good. And there is no code for something like this. It's just, it's in a park, and it's owned. It's not rented or anything. My girlfriend's a ginger. I think the beautiful redhead Corey was talking about. Well, oh, come now. Let's not. We're not doing that, Skiwi. That's not what my channel's about. My channel's about positive stuff. I had a bad experience with a redhead on a blind date. Never again. Harold says, Skiwi says, River Wilbur, I have your wrench. I'll protect you. Y'all leave Brandon alone. Alright, I'm going to give Brandon a wrench. And you better be nice, Brandon. Seriously. Hi, Jessica Rabbit. So, that's my focus with all of this now. I want to start having people that can actually benefit the community, What are the wrenches for? Oh, you can't be booted out, and you can boot somebody or, remove them, block them, or time them out if they fuck up. But once you block them, I have to go to their channel and unblock them. If I don't know you've blocked them, then I can't do it. I have to be told, so-and-so, or because if I don't see it on the screen, say I step away, and somebody that's blue starts getting rid of everybody, and then I come back, I didn't see it, Greetings and salutations. Go to see you. Hello, I am Hot Frog. I hate having to wear these glasses, but I'm so fucking blind I can't help it. I'm going to see y'all. I meant to say good to see you. Yeah, I figured that's what you meant to say, but I didn't want to read it that way because you didn't, I didn't want to assume. I don't want to back up again because I ain't wearing a bra and y'all see my orangutans, as Will calls them. Lazy fingers. Doug took the day off. Not work, but the day off of doing any chores around here when he got home, because he's got lazy fingers today. He told me last night, he came and sat in the front room and he said, "Can you pause that for a sec?" I was like, "Sure." Your glasses looks good, Corey. Thank you, Harold. And I paused what I was watching Netflix, something on Netflix. That's what I do when I'm up late. Me and Saucy here, that's my little guard dog, you guys. That's my baby right there. Who is my forever puppy? Saucy. Mama loves you. Me and her watch Netflix and Amazon Prime, and Bean Sprout gave me access to her Vudu, so now I watch that some, and just all the different A&E crime, we got a subscription to that. So that's what I just sit and watch movies. But he comes in and he says, "Can you pause that?" And I said, "Yeah." And he says, he looks at me, I'm thinking he's getting ready to share this heart moment, this. I remember when you got her. You remember that? She is such a sweetheart. She was a junkie when we got her, or her Percocet and beer habit. But I was thinking he was going to share something like really deep. But I guess he's been working so hard on this roof to get it up, because when you start a project out here in a mobile home park, they have a certain amount of time you have to have it done by. And so he had to get it crammed in and done, you know. Plus, we didn't want to miss the rain. I bet when Doug asked you to pause it, he farted. That's exactly what happened, Skiwi. You must be a fly on the wall. I know how sentimental he is. I mean, but the way he said, could you pause that for a minute, please? He had just sat down, so I did. And he says, tomorrow when I get home from work. No, he said, I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to work. I went, yeah. He said, and when I get home, I'm not fucking leaving this house. I went, okay. He went, I just want to make sure you know that. I said, I don't ask you to do anything. You do it when, he goes, I know, but if I try to do something, don't let me. I was like, I'm not going to let you. But then when he got home, he was like, I want beef stroganoff. Now, he had said, I'm not cooking dinner, I'm not sweeping, I'm not starting a load of laundry, I'm not bending over, I'm not lifting my leg, I'm not doing nothing. So then he's like, I want beef stroganoff, woman. And I said, okay, well, that's something he cooks. Like, that's it. He won't let me cook it. That's Doug's dish. He cooks it. I know how to do it, but that's his gig. So I thought, okay, so he's going to do something. I knew he would, because he can't sit still. And he says, I'm going to run up to Winn-Dixie and I'm going to get the stuff. I was like, all right. I mean, it was just a quick trip to the store, so he went. So then he calls me. If you know a vet, you should get them on. On what? Stevie says, so Doug brings home the bacon and he has to cook it too? No! Why are you twisting it? I just said that's Doug's gig. He won't let me cook beef stroganoff. That's his gig. But anyway, he gets to the store and he calls me up and says, yeah, woman, the steak's not on sale anymore. It was on sale yesterday and it's not on sale today. I'm not spending what they're asking. Winn-Dixie's outrageous. Unless... Oh, shut up. See? Brandon. He also has to wash the dishes. No. Even with my cut thumb, that was my gig today. I did my dishes. I got them finished. After we ate, I got them done again. Hey. Doug, come here. Come here.
What?
Skiwi says Doug has to earn the bacon and cook it too.
What?
He says you have to earn the bacon and cook it too.
I can.
You can. Who cooks the beef stroganoff?
Beef stroganoff? Me?
Why do you cook it? Why can't I cook it?
Because I like the way I cook it.
There you go, because I like the way I cook it. Tell Doug to come out and take a bow and leave his pants up this time. Huh? He said, tell Doug to come out and take a bow and tell him to leave his pants up this time. He said no. He's going to pull them down. That's how it is in my place. The girlfriend cooks and I eat, but I go to work and earn that. It should be on the counter by the stove. You going to bed now? You don't even look tired. You don't even look tired.
But I still got a gut burn.
I know. The melatonins are right there if you want one. The melatonins are right there, I believe, if you want one. Okay. Good night. Love you. No, he doesn't have to wash the dishes. Rubber Wilbur, what kind of silly diet you on this week? No, there's certain things, in any household that certain people, like men always grill. They never want the woman to grill. Men have to grill. It's so lame. But that's fine. I don't really like to grill. I have an indoor grill I use if the boys want something while Doug's not here. And like the other day, they were like, for lunch, we want hamburgers. So I made them hamburger patties and, I already had pre-made some. So I just took them out and I broke out because Aaron wanted them grilled. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I broke out my indoor grill and I made him grilled hamburgers. So there's some things, that Doug just doesn't want me to do because he wants to. I've been doing a vegan diet the last 2 weeks only because I lose weight fast with no meat, just temporary. Stay on it. You can stay on it and it isn't temporary anymore. My hubby is the house cook. I'm the grill master. See, Amanda, it's not the same for y'all. Y'all have your Doug watches cooking videos constantly. That and this survivalist guy, he makes everything from the earth. Like, he builds all his wood shit from cutting down a tree, planing the wood, and all that stuff. Kelly spent $11.50 of his stimulus check on wrestling figures and a toy wrestling ring. Amanda May spent $2,400 of his and Addie's on a pool table. What are you spending yours on? I'm also the primary breadwinner. Good for you, girl. There's nothing wrong with a Mr. Mom at all. They always say, children need fathers, children need two parents, but then when you give them two parents, they also want you to conform to traditional 1950s, and it doesn't always work that way. It's just dumb. Something funny for you. Have you ever heard of the book It's a Race to the Outhouse by Willie Mackett's sequel? No. I've never heard of that. That was by Stroker. Brandon says, I am one of the few people who hasn't gotten his stimulus check yet. Kind of is pissing me off now. I know two people on either disability or just SSI. They haven't gotten theirs. So I don't know if it's across the board. But like, if you're on any kind of disability, it seems like it's really affecting, them more than anyone. I pay taxes quarterly. Maybe it's because you haven't ever paid taxes, Skiwi says. Look now, Brandon, now he's trolling you. Freaking mosquito bit me on my finger, that asshole. My kids have two parents and are still assholes. I know, right? Right. It doesn't. But the thing is, people are, they want you to conform to what they see as the way a family should be. Which is insane. It's like, and there's people out there really truly trying to keep up with everybody and do it the way society says you have to do it. You know what I call them, people? Weak as fuck. I am not. I'm going to live it the way we live it. After being together as long as we've been together, we know our places. We know what each of us likes and wants, Skiwi, I hope they were good figures and some rare ones, Harold says. Skiwi says, Harold, I bought a bunch of classic ones in the box, and then he got them and opened the packages. Worthless. Why? Now, I've heard that these figurines are just like the NASCAR shit. They're made to be collected. They're not limited. They're allowed legally to put that on there and them not be. And they sell like crazy. Or they'll say limited, but not tell you to how many. Which means they have an open-ended amount that they can make until sales die off, then they can stop. So when I was selling on eBay, Doug had a boss man that was collecting Dale Earnhardt stuff, and he thought he had a fortune in Dale Earnhardt stuff. And so we went over to his little gated community in his massive house, and he took me to this china cabinet. He was like, this is before eBay. Was it? No, it wasn't. I don't remember. I know there were online sales. I do know that. Yeah, there was eBay. This was during eBay. Long time ago. And I had to break it to him that everything he had was made to be collected, so there was no value. My girlfriend was a single parent. Stroker Ace says that. Amanda says, I also got married for $62.50 at the JOP and have a $10 wedding band. Good for you. Me and Doug went down to the Justice of the Peace. Which one married you? Come on. Was his name Walter Edmonds or Victor? Can't remember his last name. It's either Edmonds or the other one, and I can't remember his last name. Skiwi says, River Wilbur, how come you haven't been hanging out with Amanda May and Addie? They are back. Harold says, Skiwi, he let them breathe, as Matt Cordona says. Skiwi says, I found Kelly's eBay. This guy blows money like he's got his parents' credit card. Brandon says, do they have videos up? Ski. Stroker says, her ex never took care of her son right, and so I went and paid for him to get new clothes and school stuff, whatever he needed. Well, that's awesome. That's really awesome. Nope, that stuff is so mass-produced, it's worthless. Exactly, Amanda. After you buy it, Coca-Cola stuff too. Yep, unless it was old. Want to collab? I have live streams too. No, I'm not doing any collabs right now, but I appreciate it. Rebel Wilbur, they do live streams. Brian and Addie have this big empty room, and they spent their stimulus check on a $2,400 pool table. Nope, got married by a black lady in a dashiki. Are you serious? Oh, well, I just saw. I'll shut you out on my channel now. I'll be right back. Well, I appreciate it, but yeah, it's good. I'm not doing body count. I'm not doing any collabs or anything like that. Stroker says paid her truck off for her too, so she didn't have to worry about it. That's awesome. Brandon says, how long, Skiwi, do you think it will take until he has to sell it or pawn it? I thought Brian went to jail again. What happened with that? He should watch the Major Wrestling Figures podcast here on YouTube with Brian Myers, Kurt Hawkins, and Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder. Now, people thought those heavy Singer sewing, now this is pre-internet, okay? Those heavy Singer sewing machines that you flip it up and it's got the beautiful scrolled cast iron legs, the base and everything. Rubber Wilbur Brian keeps talking about how Addie has to go to work, but he's furloughed, so I'm guessing as long as Addie brings home the paycheck. I thought she was pregnant. What happened with that? Skiwi, do you watch Rich Life of Road Trips? I keep hearing that name, but I've never watched that person. You should watch that guy. He's a riot. You would be banned within 1 minute. Stroker says her family couldn't afford a headstone for her mother, so I paid. Jesus, you just buying that whole family's everything, yo. Celeste, hey Celeste! Woo, hey Corey, getting ready for bed, but yeah, I was too, but I subbed. Well, thank you, Body Count. I appreciate it. Celeste, Secular Opinion, roasted Corky tonight. Skiwi says, Rubber Wilbur, dude, I see him on G Mangoes. Sent him into a fit talking about this Fast and Furious car, and G Mangoes banned me. You would be banned. Skiwi, you also need to go watch Nick Bravo's channel too. I have lots of money. Women aren't cheap. Women are cheap if women aren't demanding. But these people that thought they had these really expensive great-great-grandma's antique Singer sewing machine with the scroll pattern on the cast iron and the beautiful intricate gold detail on the machine, until the internet came out and they realized everybody has one from their great-great-great-grandma. And you have to think about it. Those things are massive. They are heavy, they are solid, they are durable, and they still work for a reason. They last. Those things aren't collectible because those things never fucking break. You know, you have to look at the more delicate things, like a box made of alabaster. Alabaster will shatter at the slightest little tap. It will really mess it up. I had one, and it can be chipped very easily. It doesn't even really chip so much as it crumbles. It's awful. So, and you find a really, really old alabaster or something along those lines, you've got something, because those things did not last. I don't know them, I guess. Rubber had a set of, y'all are talking about, okay. Because I love her. Well, that's great. That really is. Love is super duper important in a relationship. Did you watch Secular Opinion tonight, Celeste? What is Secular Opinion? Not like they make today. You should. He mentioned you a couple of times and he really roasted Corky. Who did he mention? Like bad. Did he mention Skiwi? No, I didn't, Rubber. Sorry. Just got home. He mentioned Celeste. I remember when Rubber Wilbur invested his savings in Beanie Babies. Oh, he did not. Did you do that? I don't think Brandon did that. Those things are worthless too. I remember people collecting them, and I used to say to my friends who collected them, that and those stupid fucking ceramic and porcelain dolls, the porcelain dolls, and I'm like, why did you, they're like, oh, these are porcelain dolls. These are for her, I'm investing in her future. And I was like, why? Because it's porcelain? It's of no particular name brand. You bought it at Dollar General. It's not worth anything. That was back in the day. I knew then that they weren't worth shit. Next time you're polishing Rich's knob. What? Who did he mention? Celeste or Skiwi? Who are you talking about? Ask him if he knows Skiwi. Beanie Babies were a waste. And then I saw them for sale on eBay a couple years back. Somebody was selling their whole lot for like $3,000, and I was just laughing. I was like, seriously? It's been for sale for like 3 months. Ain't nobody buying that shit. They truly wanted their money back. Precious Moments. Some of those are actually collectible. And the Hummels. The Hummel figurines and the Snow Babies. Just because of the cuteness of them, people collect them, you know? And you can complete your whole set. Like, this is the 2008 set. This is the 1998 set. Whatever. Rich Life would say, you know. Straight up. He can't know me well since I've never heard of him. Exactly. I've seen his name a couple of times, too. I'm in the same boat as you. Hummels are cute. Hummels, but yeah, stuff like that, people want to complete their sets. So everything has a price, obviously, and if the right buyer comes along, you're going to sell. And like Doug said, I could sell ice to an Eskimo when I was doing my eBaying, because I would have a bracelet that was really old, but it would be identical to the Coro one that 5 other girls had up. And they would be asking less than mine, but their pictures were shitty. So I took good photographs, pointed out any issues if there were any, and I asked for more. And mine sold. Every time. Every time. Doug said, you said it, Corey. Yeah, Doug said. Doug's allowed to say shit. I'm craving gumbo. You ever had it? I don't think I've ever had real gumbo, you know? My sister sold a bag of Beanie Babies for like $200. Well, she got lucky, or how long ago are you talking? Doug's allowed to say shit. McFarlane Toys. Oh my gosh. Stuff retains its value for some reason. Sideshow. You know what I have? Or had? I don't know if I still even have it, but I have the Bob and the Great White North guys. It was a little toy set. It was them. It was some little beer crates. It was little teeny beer bottles. It was all the stuff from their little setup. I had that. Corey, do you want to know where the hot dog water thing came from? I do. Actually, I'm glad you asked me that, because I would love to know. I heard that somebody was trolling Nina Unrated like a year before I even came to this area of the internet. And they were using that same insult on her like a year before a year before I came to Boy at all. Bob and Doug, that's the one. Bob and Doug McKenzie. Yeah, and then I also have a creature. He's like this tall. It's the Gene Simmons like monster or whatever. I don't know if I still have that or if it was left in the house. I don't know. I know we lost a lot of stuff in that fire, um, but yeah, we had a Gene Simmons like a demon thing. It was kind of cool. We have a ton of McFarlane toys stored away. Lots of old Matrix limited editions, quadrupled in value. Wow. Yeah, but the Bob and Doug McKenzie, take off, eh? You know, with the whole setup, the little toys, they're so cute. It's still in the package. Strange Brew. I've never seen it. I just remember their 12 Days of Christmas. Freaking hilarious. They talk about a toque, a 12 pack or a 6 pack or something. We lost so much stuff moving in the army. They lost stuff all the time. Really? Well, we lost it in the fire. You know, we lost all that stuff in the fire. My daughter didn't get a chance to get it all moved out. Like, we were there, and then the next day, after we had left, the next day during the day is when that guy burned it up. By the way, that guy killed himself. So, no justice for us. The cop told me, oh, he spent time for it. He went to jail for it. And I was like, how did he go to jail for it? It hasn't been that long. How long did he spend? This is the same guy that kidnapped twins. He kidnapped 2 kids that were 3 years old. Hit their grandma on the head and stole her car and snagged the kids. You know, it's just like... But then he burns my house to the ground and with all my stuff in it. And he served time? Really? Then he died of an overdose or some crap. Wonder if he died in a fire. No, he died of an overdose. Well, don't forget, I moved from a small town. And coincidentally, the detective I spoke to about it, he told me that he went to school with him. He'd known him his whole life. He said that, look, I've known Philip my whole life, and he did us all a favor by offering himself good riddance, Dick. I agree. And he was touched. Big time. Like, hugely. So, he was just not safe. He was not a safe guy. He had multiple crimes that he had been convicted for, and he just kept getting limited little bits of jail time and then gone. He was out again, fucking up again. Corey, are you a member on Elbo's channel? I don't watch him. He looks like a pervo now with that bald head. Come here, baby. With that bald head and that porn stash. It's awful. He looks like a mustachioed thumb. Rubber Wilbur, what do you think about D-Dubs, a convicted sex offender on the run, living with Hosey? Oh, goodness gracious, people. I remember his mug shot. He definitely looked creepy. My shirt. Amanda, did you see my shirt? I got his Elvis mugshot t-shirt. Hey, baby. Oh, I love you, little beautiful girl. What's going on there? Why did he shave his head? I think somebody said he had lice or something. I remember his... Oh, I already read that one. Say hi to the people, my forever puppy. Mama loves you. He's going bald, Celeste. He was anyway. He said, fuck you. I'm just going to let it all go, man. So my sweet puppy, mama's baby. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Hello, Trailer Park Woman. Hello, how are you doing? That's what us bald men do when we start losing it. Oh, Brandon. I think he shaved his head because of lice or something. He was too vain to have shaved it by choice. I agree, Skiwi. That goes against his Elvis persona. You're right. You're absolutely right. It's pronounced exactly how it's spelled. Anas Ramar? An ass rammer. Oh, that's a good one. Bald looks better than a bird's nest, says Brandon. Skiwi says you pronounce his name as an ass rammer. Yeah, I just realized that. An ass rammer. I was trying to be all not insulting, but it was intended to be that way. Everybody love my little red dog. Chee-chee-chee. My chee-chee. Aren't you my sweet puppy, Mama Scoop? Oh, yeah. Who's the beautiful forever puppy with the really bad breath? Oh, she's such a baby. You're a sweet baby. Do y'all see my beautiful girl? Just my sweet girl. And we sing to her every night. Look at her go to sleep. Look at her eyes shut. Oh. So fake and fantastic. Corey, has Nick Gers ever been in here? I've never heard that name. Who's my sweet girl? Yes, you are. What a precious puppy. I love this little Chi-Chi. She is. Amanda. I love her so much. Doug's like, I don't want the goddamn dog in the bed. I don't put the dog in the bed. And she can't get on the bed because the bed is really high. So after he falls asleep, of course, I'm still up. So when I go to bed, she'll come in there and I can hear her little toes tapping. And I pick her up and I put her under the blanket. But she's a smart girl. She knows to stay on my side of the bed so Daddy don't find out. She's gone to sleep. Okay, I'm off to bed. Have to get back up at 5. Good night, Corey. Good night, Celeste. Much love to you. Thanks for stopping in and saying hello. It's always good to see my friends. You're just a good girl. Look, y'all. Doggy boobies. Doggy boobies. Doggy boobies. Corey, I saw some Nick Gers in here. Are you trying to make me say a bad word? Oh, I see. Yeah, no, that's not happening. Dogs belong in bed with humans. It's expected, exactly. And Jewel has a Serta dog bed on the floor between the wall and my bed, like on my side. That's my girl, boy. I'm gonna tell you, she is something else. And she's an old girl. So when Doug goes to bed, she's with him. She goes right to bed. How many times can I get Corey to say the N-word without realizing it? No, I pronounced it the way you spelled it. Shut your pie hole. Well, that's mean. Because that's a bad, bad, terrible thing to say to anybody. Why is it so fucking blurry? What the Jesus Christ, man? Ain't nobody got time for this silly shit. Hope no one is racist. I'm not racist. I've been accused of being racist, but doesn't make it true. I'm a lot of things, but I can tell you I'm not a racist. I have absolutely no reason to be. I've had a gun pulled on me by a black kid, like arm outstretched, barrel. I'm just staring it down. He's threatening to shoot me, threatening to shoot my dog. Did I hold it against every black person? No, but there's a lot of people out there that would and have. Into the juice too much, maybe that's why it's blurry. Into the juice, it's water. Sturger Ace, I'm from Georgia. It's okay. You're from Georgia? What part? Do you live in Georgia now? You're probably full of crap anyway. I don't believe anything I see anybody say on here anymore. I saw what was going on immediately. Harold says, Harold's like, I saw what you did there, you son of a bitch. It's funny. I have been on for 55 minutes and 19 seconds. I have Amazon Prime calling my name. I have Netflix calling my name. I have A&E Crime channel calling my name. I have Docurama calling my name. I live in Indiana in a class of... Oh, sure you do. Oh my God. Girl, you crazy. Thanks for the warning, Harold. That's still funny. I saw what was going on immediately. Just so y'all know, Harold is one of my people. That's one of my persons. Just so everybody's privy to that. You ever see that movie, The Gift, with Jason Bateman? I hope I did, because I absolutely love him. What is it about? Give me the synopsis. I gotta sew an online application. Oh, do an online application tomorrow when I get up. Oh, really? For work? Are you applying for a new job? Awesome. I hope you get it. What line of work, if you... Don't tell me the place. Do not ever release that information on here. But what kind of work are you talking about, Corey? My sign at work was... Fuck you, password was fook me. That's a bold move, Cotton. What? Have you seen the new Ahmaud Arbery video where he was stopped in his car? It makes the cops there in Georgia look pretty bad. No. Oh, gosh, really? I need to look at it. He runs into old classmate when he moves back home. It's from like 4 years ago. I just now saw it on Netflix. I saw it on the list, and I just haven't seen it, but I might watch it tonight. Retail. Hey, you... Retail people are the... I mean, if you didn't have that job, we wouldn't be able to buy our electronics on site. We'd have to do everything online. We'd buy our food, our clothing. So that's... I hope you get it. It's fucking blurry. Why is it so fucking blurry? So weird. They tried to tase Ahmaud for no reason, but the taser wasn't working. Oh my God. I wonder what the reason is for them going after this guy. You know that idiot that recorded the actual shooting? Well, he like... Yeah, he was the one... He didn't act shocked or like he's seen something he wasn't expecting. 1312. What is that? Is that a movie? That sounds like a... It's not blurry. Oh, no, it's blurry for me. Like, it looks blurry on my screen. Watch it now. It's only 2 minutes. I can't watch it now. I'm on my phone. If I drop this down, it'll end the stream. So I have to watch it when I go in. Here's the link. Post the link in the comments below this video when it ends, if you don't mind, so I can get to it. And so can everyone else. What was I fucking saying? Black guy named Ahmaud, he was the target. Yeah. Sad but true, you know. I mean, everybody says, oh, we had a black president, racism's over. Well, it's not. Let's all watch it together and then bask in our white privilege guilt. I have a video on this channel that's called, oh God, I named it something about being lily white. And I was very ashamed. Several incidents that happened to me in my life that were privileges that I was embarrassed of. It was absolutely, yeah, guilt and shame. I did that video right before I found everybody on Boyd. My dad says his feeds are blurry too. I told him it's his old age. Oh, thanks a lot, Stroke Rates. It means it's mine too. Skeevy says Brandon just posted the link to that Rickrolled video. Did he really? Well, I'm glad you told me. Thanks a lot, Brandon. I've been Rickrolled before. Frickin' Martha Rickrolled me. Corey, you grew up in a high school that was half black in Virginia, so you were tolerant. Oh, it was more than half. More than half of Portsmouth is black, I believe it now. Yeah, that makes the cops look real bad. LOL. It's the real video. Martha Rickrolled me a while back. It's like, how is that still happening? Like, that is such a an age-appropriated video thing, but I think even, I don't know, does this generation coming up now know about Rickrolling? Like teenagers, do they know about it? Because if not, that could be a fresh batch of victims. And then get them confused when you say, you just got Rickrolled. What the fuck is Rickrolled? What just happened to you, you little twerp? Accurate, Corey. We were the minority in Portsmouth, it seemed. Yeah, but, I mean, there was never any free, I mean, there was some, but, I mean, it was not a major issue that I can recall. I had one incident well, not one incident, one school year, which is a typical school year for kids to fuck with other kids. But I got bullied so bad. I want to say it was 5th grade. I was going to Brighton. So what does that tell you, Amanda? I was going to Brighton. I was literally zoned for Brighton from where I lived, which made no sense. My mom was like, why is she zoned for Brighton? My 13 and 15 and 17-year-olds know what Rickrolling is. You're like me. When it comes to being a grandma or a mom, I make sure that the kids are up to date on old shit, you know. I always want to, go on, baby. I want to introduce them to stuff, you know. Did you go there too? Fuckers rousting that guy for no reason other than his skin color. Which makes no sense because he's not the only black one in the area, so there's got to be some other mitigating factor involved that would cause them to be particular about him. But yeah, I want to say it was the 5th grade when that guy Ronald, big black kid, I mean, he was one of them. He had like facial hair and shit. Like, he was way more hormonally advanced than he should have been. Yes, but the black kids were nice to me. The white ones weren't. We were doing the pinata thing, and Miss Griffin left the class while there's a kid in the middle swinging a giant stick at a pinata. And of course, he came down right on my head, and I remember who was sitting right beside me. It was Jennifer Nowak. Do you by any chance know her? Amanda? She was sitting right beside me. She was like, damn, girl, you okay? And I was like, don't know. I mean, I just felt the blood just go down my face. And and the buzzing in my ears. And everyone started to laugh. All the black kids started to laugh. He knocked her ass out. He knocked her ass out. And I never knew why that year was the bullying year. I'm thinking I was going through other things with my age and with my household. I think maybe I just reeked of come fuck with me, you know. Okay, yeah, I hung out with her a bit. Not a lot, but a bit. But she was sitting right beside me. And when the lady came back in the classroom, she said, what happened? What happened? Y'all need to calm down. And they started screaming, he just hit Paulette in the head. He just hit Paulette in the head. And I'm just blood, you know, I'm just dying. And then that same school year, there was a chick, a black girl. Well, she wasn't really black. She was light skinned. She had freckles and red hair, a red afro. And I cannot remember her name. But I got on the bus before her and her group, and I sat in the very back. everybody wants to sit in the back. And it's first come, first serve. We weren't assigned any seats. So I sat there, and she walked up and said, nope, nope, get your ass up, get your little white ass up. And she came and she sat on me and started to bounce. And they started to laugh. I was mortified. I was like, what the hell is going on? So I got up, and this was a black girl, and she had red hair. I got up, and she wouldn't let me get up. She just kept jumping on me. Well, you know, with age, your personality starts to change, and it. I had court for, I think it was my speeding ticket. I had court, and I just asked for a continuance, you know, because I was trying to get out of paying it that very day. Wasn't there a whole movement for them to sit at the front? Damn, that's exactly what my thought was then in the 5th fucking grade, and then things like that I retained, and I looked back when I got older and thought, even my generation of kids that were black don't remember or appreciate the struggles and the fight of the people before them, that came before them, that put themselves out there and got beat by the cops and got sprayed with hoses and got bit and mauled by dogs to fight for the simplest things. They don't appreciate it. She was fucking trash. And then I was in court that day. I already had 3 kids. And I was small enough I could fit in a locker. I used to hide in my best friend's locker and scare him when he opened the door. Well, I had 2 kids. I had Wayne and I had Shane. I mean, Wayne and Meg. Shane wasn't born yet. I had a speeding ticket. Wayne was a little thing. And I go to leave. When I'm done getting my continuance, I think what Corey's saying, that they need to be reminded again. No, absolutely not. I just hate that they're not educated on their own history. How can they not be educated on their own history? I think that's terrible. You know, their families have dropped the ball in expressing to them the importance. I'm wondering if their families even understood or cared, or... And then I thought, well, maybe what it is that everybody's just trying to make it week to week. And they don't have time or interest in the history because they're struggling to make it week to week. So, I mean, I try to put myself on, yeah, fuck that, but then again, possibly this, you know. But anyway, I'm turning around to leave. I got my continuance, and they told me to come over and get my paper. I got that. And I went to walk out, and who's sitting? Just walking in and sitting down with a baby on her hip, pregnant as fuck, with slippers on in court and a pajama top over some shorts in Portsmouth, okay? That redheaded bitch. I didn't need to say anything to her. I just slowed down and looked at her as I walked, and she looked up at me and smiled. Hey, just as nice. Half of her hair in the braids, half of them not done yet. Looking like she just climbed out of bed to come to court, which told me the first thing I thought was, you come to court so often that you feel like you're fucking home. Of course, now you can't come to court like that, but she was in court dressed like she just rolled out of bed and rushed to court because she was late. And I didn't need to say anything, you know what I'm saying? I didn't need to say anything. I was like, yeah, life has been fair to her. She got what she got. And I left. I didn't have to say anything. That felt really good. And Shane said her and Wayne went through the same thing on the bus with a girl and her brother that used to just bully this little boy so bad. Really small kid. Until they stood up and finally defended the kid. That's karma come full circle. Exactly. Did this redhead repeat herself twice? This was a black woman. Dropping the ball is better than dropping the soap. Stroker. I don't know. Depends on who you ask. You're right. I mean, and so you get what I meant by just like nothing would have benefited her from me saying, "Do you remember me?" I mean, it was during court. I couldn't just like confront her. But it just felt so good. I hadn't thought about her in ages. Like, and I saw her and I was like, wait a minute. Hold up. Oh, shit. Hi, Lily Pad. Mwah. Hello. Uh, but, nothing would have come from confronting her. I think black people with red hair are called mulatto or something, right, Brandon? I don't know. I've heard mulatto before, but I don't know if you just pronounced it. I mean, I don't think you spelled it right. I think it's Mulatto. M-U-L. I don't know. But yeah, I've heard that before, but I don't know what a mulatto is. I have no idea. So anyway, yeah, that happened. Mulatto, there you go, is another term for mixed. M-U-L-A-T-T-O. There you go. That's what I was thinking it was. But I didn't know what it meant. I was thinking that's the way you spell it, Ellen, thank you for the thumbs up, everybody. That's awesome. Nice thumbs up there. And again, I will fix it when I get off of here and get on my laptop, either tonight or tomorrow, and fix it so you guys can see the thumbs. A zebra. What does that mean? I had a friend, she's passed away now, but I had a friend, her and her husband had their first child. It was a little girl. Now you see me, now you don't. Do you think it's appropriate for us to be having this conversation? What conversation? You were talking about mulatto, and I said, I don't know what that means. I've heard the name before, but I don't know what it means. But my friend was Filipino, and her husband was white. And they had their first child. The baby was full term, but in positioning in the birth canal a week before her due date, which is that's full term. The baby quit moving. All right, here and there, blah, 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 blah. They checked. She went to the hospital. She was like, the baby hasn't moved. She has not moved. And they went to the hospital. The baby was deceased. And they didn't know why, but once the baby was born, they saw why. The baby got tangled in her own umbilical cord. They didn't know why, but the baby's umbilical cord was excessively longer than it needed to be. And it was just a fluke thing, and the baby had it around her leg, around her wrist, and around her neck. And the baby, that's how the baby died. So my sister was up there, standing in the hallway, waiting for the doctor to leave the room. She birthed the child. She said, no, I went to my classes. This is my daughter. And she gave birth to the baby, which is hard to give birth. But when you give birth to a deceased child, that's some work. I was born with an umbilical cord wrapped around my neck. A lot of kids are. That's the thing. That is a very common thing. That is not unique in any way. 2 of my 3 kids had it. My first 2 did. Shane did not. It's just that the baby had it around her leg, around her wrist, and around her neck. So and the cord was just so long. And they said there was really no reason. It just happens. That's why the elevator don't go to the top floor. So, my sister got to the hospital and had seen her. It was her best friend, and she saw her, and then she went back out to the hallway. While she left the floor for something. Well, while she was gone, the doctor came into the room. So she came into the hall. She's like, oh, the doctor's in there. I'm going to just wait in the hall. She was talking to someone else that was there, also waiting to go in. And when the doctor and the nurse came out, they stood at the doorway. They were slightly off from the doorway because they didn't want to interrupt what was going on or eavesdrop. The doctor and the nurse came out. The doctor wrote something down on a chart, handed it to her, and my sister and the girl that was out there waiting with her heard him say, it's like zebras and horses. What did they expect? And my sister went, did he just say what I thought he said? And she went, yes, he did. He was referring to a Filipino and a white child, and that was why. I was like, oh, please tell me you didn't hear him say that. She said, that's exactly what he said. And she didn't tell her. She didn't tell her that that's what she heard, and she told the husband, though. And needless to say, the husband filed a complaint with the hospital. And that was really sad to me, because the woman I'm telling you about, you've never met a kinder, more religious, decent, and good person. You just haven't. And she passed away a couple of years ago of a heart attack, bam, right where she stood. She didn't have a chance. But that doctor said that, like zebras and horses. And I was like, oh my God, please tell me he did not say that. I don't know if zebras and horses means something racist. Oh, it totally does. Maybe there's another explanation, not one that I can think of. No, it was racist. This was also back in the 80s. You got to consider that. Stroker Ace, my nephew, was born and he had his umbilical cord around his neck. His face was purple for a long time. Yeah, that happens. My friend did mention afterwards, this is another little tidbit about that guy, that the doctor wasn't her regular one. That was just the one that was on call that day to do the rounds. She'd already had the child. That was a big baby, by the way. I believe that baby was like 9.5 pounds. That was a big, big baby. And that was also the first baby funeral I'd ever gone to. And the only baby funeral I've ever gone to. And that was a big baby. But that was the other thing. They think all of that played a factor in what happened. All of it. But none of it had anything to do with the fact she was fucking Filipino and her husband was white. But this doctor was a white dude, and he was old, and they said that he just was very sharp with them when he spoke to them. He was very sharp and choppy and, like, rigid. She used a couple of words like that, and me and my sister were like, yeah, we're not going to say anything. We didn't want to tell her what he had said, you know. But they went on and had 3 more kids, so when he cried as a baby, I was the only one who calmed him down. Oh, I could get him laughing when no one else could. Because of that, I ended up having a learning disability and called, oh no, I can't even use that word, and I'm nowhere near that. Amanda says, big baby, but still a small casket. So sad. That baby, Amanda, that casket, we went to Snelling's on, I think it was Snelling's on High Street, down towards downtown, and they ended up turning it into apartments or condominiums. Do you remember that? But anyway, it was on the corner downtown. I want to say it was on High Street, and I want to say it was Snelling's. But I may be wrong about that. I haven't lived there in a long time. But it was in right outside of Shea Terrace right there. And yeah, you do remember. Remember it caught on fire? And when they rebuilt it, they just made it into condos or whatever. How come he's allowed to say, I don't know, I've got nothing to do with that. He's talking about what happened to him and the words that were said to him, Ski-Wee. He's not insulting anybody. He's talking about something he experienced. But I walked in to the front door of this old place, and we turned to the side room. It was right there when you walked in, and they had, you know how when you go to a funeral home, there's this casket and this big stand and flowers everywhere. There was one little chair, a beautiful gold wood, like gold colored wooden chair with a fabric soft seat, and that little casket sitting on that chair. Just sitting on a chair. It was so tiny. And of course it was open, and you could see the little bruises on her temples from the forceps where they helped get her out because she was just so big. And it was sad. It was just, God, it was the saddest thing. But, you know, one of them things you don't forget. I believe I was 16 or 17 when that happened. Wait a minute. My niece was 5. She was born in 84. She was 4. She wasn't 5 yet. I was 18, 17, sorry. I would never live in an old funeral home. Fuck that. Think about it though. When you die, you're not going to haunt the place you were laid to be displayed. You're going to haunt the places you remember being at when you were here. I would never go to a baby's funeral. Pet Cemetery ruined that. Well, Ski Wee, it wasn't about going to the funeral. It was about being there for our friend who she was our friend since we were kids. We grew up with her. Do you remember me telling the story about dreaming them guys were in the wreck, in the accident, and were hit on the bike? It was her house that we were at. That's how, we've known her forever. So, she lived right next door to us since, what, she lived next door for a long time, but, yeah, it was about being there for her. We took our niece because we were all so close that she was excited to have a new cousin, even though we weren't really related. And she talked about her new cousin, and she called her by name, and she had made things for her, and things to hang on the baby's wall. And so my niece was all into this baby. So we were like, how do we do this? She has to know, because, she has to know. And she was close to 5. I remember that. She wasn't 5 yet. And, we took our niece. We explained to her. She already knew about death. She already knew about that. And we explained to her that, how we discussed that people die. Well, a person died, So we took her. She handled it really well. And she looked up at us and said, she's so big and so pretty. And we were like, we know. It just broke my heart, man. He said he was called that. No one should use that word ever. Yeah. It was more of a technical question of why Google only blocks that word. Oh, I gotcha. On certain chats, but not all. Probably because Tribe's chat's got a history of people saying really messed up shit over there. So they're kind of already on the radar, I guess. Do you believe in ghosts? Stroker, you didn't see my live stream where somebody walked down my hallway and went into the bathroom, but then there was nobody there? Come on. That happened, 2 months ago? Not quite 2 months ago. It was on stream. Everyone could hear it, but there was nobody there. I know what you were doing, Skiwi. Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to, if somebody can find that video, it was like a month and a half ago. It's just the 10-minute and change, I believe. And share the link here for Stroker Ace to be able to see it when he has time. I narrowed it down and I edited it, just that part, from beginning to end, so that nobody would think that I edited what happened. I wanted it all to play through, but just that part, and then some little tidbits, here and there, after and before. Guaranteed the kids that taunted you are riddled with guilt to this day, unless they're completely evil. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, and I know I've talked about it before, I used to be the most gullible McFly in the world, and naive, and would just about bow over backwards to make people like me when I was a little kid. And when my friends told me to jump, I was like, how high? It wasn't a ghost, it was a cat. Corey was drinking that night. I didn't have the heart to ruin it for her. Yeah, a cat has thumbs and can cut on the bathroom light. Absolutely. You're right. Nailed it. I'd have been out of there. Fuck that. This is my home, dude. I ain't going anywhere. That's not unique for me either. I have experience with this crap off and on since forever. But, what was I saying? Now I forgot what I was saying. See if I can remember now. Oh, well, I didn't have anyone to play with one day. And I went to the 7-Eleven on the corner down from where I lived. I'm not going to read the chat for a second while I can keep my train of thought. And I went down there, and then I got me some snacks and some candy, and then I went to the playground at the ball field at the end of my road on the corner of Beacon and Elliott. Went to the ball field, and they had a playground there. Hadn't been up for long. And I sat on the swings and I ate my Whoppers. I remember I had those, and I had a Coolie. Do y'all remember those? A Coolie drink? Um, so I know Amanda does, the Coolies. And do you remember the Bolo? They're hard, but then you chew them up and they're gum. They're super cheap. So I had the Bolos and the Coolies, and not that day. I didn't have the Bolos that day, but I had a Coolie and I had the Whoppers that day. And I sat, I don't even want to guesstimate on the age, but I want to say I was probably 10. And I sat, and then there was a boy, I didn't realize he was in the under part of the climbing setup. So when I'm sitting on the swing, he's back there. I didn't know it. So then he gets out at some point, and he comes over and he sits on the swing beside me. We start talking. Hey, we're talking. So here's this little white girl and this little black boy, and we're swinging and everything's fine. He was nice to me. And then he was like, you want to go with me to my grandma's? I was like, where does she live? And he was like, one street over. So it was in the hood, but it was like one street over. We went over there, and I sat on the curb while he went in to get something to drink, and came out and he brought me something to drink. And we talked and sat on the curb, and he had these little race cars he wanted me to see. So we were playing, because I told him I had some too. I was a little tomboy. And we were talking about race cars, and he was showing me his little Hot Wheels. And his name was Derek. And we became fast friends. And every time we saw each other, it was, hey, and da-da-da, we'd share candy, and that was that. And I spent less time looking to hang out with my girlfriends and more time going to the playground by myself, because, we just kind of parted ways off and on. It happened. Well, one day, I hadn't seen him in a while, and one day, me and my girlfriends all went up to the playground, and they start picking on him. And you're not supposed to be here. This is our playground. You know how girls are, kids. This is my playground. You ain't supposed to be here. And they told me to beat him up. And I went, I want to beat him up. And they were like, beat him up. Beat his ass. He went to walk away. He said, I'll just leave. And I was like, he's leaving. They went, no, it's too late now. He had a chance. She's going to beat your ass, beat his ass. Well, we hadn't spoken, me and my girlfriends, because, we go on the outs and then we'd be fine. So I was like, I don't want them to stop talking to me again. I was so naive. And I jumped on him and I beat his ass. I beat him. He managed to roll over and was face down and had his back to me, trying to crawl away. And when he got up on his hands, I saw the ground turn wet. And he was crying, and there were tears falling on that dirt. And they went, hit him again. And I just started pounding on his back. And it's like I blocked out how I really gave a shit and acted like I did not give a shit. I truly did that. And this is a real life true blue story of things that people go through. I went through this. And it affected me so much to this day. And we never spoke again, he and I. He ended up going to the same schools as me, and, I didn't see him but maybe twice after that in the store, but we just didn't speak. And that was it. Well, I got older, and I came across him at, where was it? Was it at the playground? That same playground? But I was at a phase where I was up there smoking weed and drinking, with my friends and shit. Just somewhere to hide out. But anyway, I was by myself, and I told him, I went to him and I said that I wanted to apologize to him for what I did to him years before. And he said, you didn't do anything to me. And I didn't expect that answer. And I said, I want to tell you that I'm sorry for beating you up. Well, of course, it didn't dawn on me then, but that was an insult, because a guy doesn't want to say he was beat up by a girl. But it didn't occur to me until I got older. But he said, you didn't beat me up. And I went, well, whatever happened, I'm sorry. He went, okay. That was the end of it. But now I know he just didn't want to admit he was beat up by a girl. So I don't even know what started this story, but that happened. And it wasn't racially motivated for me, but someone could have looked at that and said it was. And I really liked this kid. He was so cool. And I was dumb and gullible, and I tried to, that's why I don't try to stay with a flock anymore. I don't try to do a clique. I don't try to go, yeah, well, she says it, so it must be, I don't do any of that. If I don't agree with somebody, I fucking say I don't agree with them. Because I betrayed myself too many times in my life trying to appeal to motherfuckers. Nobody should do that. Absolutely nobody should do that, because when you lay your head down at night, you are the one laying there unable to sleep. Not them. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a shit. They're just assholes. They do not care. So that happened. I know it happened, Corey, but I have no idea what it was. But something definitely walked past the door. Exactly. Derek turned out to be a ghost. No, Skiwee, the ghost topic got brought up while I was in the middle of getting ready to tell this story. I was looking at cars. There was a hearse. I took it for a test drive. I brought it home. My dad liked it, but my mom said, no way are you buying a hearse. You'll be in one soon enough. What? Jessica Rabbit, do you think we should look up Derek on Facebook and see if the romance is still there between him and Corey? I got a big surprise for you, honey. Oh, do you? What is the surprise? Did you see my surprise? I have your shirt. Somebody sent to me. Yes, Ski, I think that's a great idea. No, he's not on my friends. I haven't seen him in ages. But I always liked him, you know. If you don't take lessons in life, like things that happen, experiences, and if you don't grow from them, then what are you doing with your life? I mean, what's the... Everybody's about financial growth and keeping up with the Joneses. What about your growth in here? Nobody values this growth anymore, you know? And I realized when I let go of so much stuff and we moved into the RV, boy, was that growth. I grew. I had this burden lifted. I'd owned nothing except that RV. And it felt really good. Just... people have to grow. Remember what Shoeless Joe Jackson told Archie Moonlight Graham, go the distance, ease his pain. What? Why? Just because of your friends? What do you mean? You're so right. Spiritual growth is what we need. If you have spiritual growth, you're right to call it that, by the way. You realize you don't need to care what the Joneses have. What the Joneses have is a ton of credit card and mortgage debt. They don't have anything. You know, life isn't about who can collect the most toys. Because at the end of it all, it's going to get fought over. And the will is going to be argued and shredded at. And people are going to have it all tied up in the courts. Or they're going to just sell it online or at a fucking yard sale. Money isn't all happiness. No, it's not. Jessica Rabbit, did you ever see the movie Field of Dreams? That's a great movie. Ty Cobb wanted to come. That is a really good movie. It's a really good movie. I just loved that movie. It just was so simple, but at the same time, it was one of those feel-goods. And then you have... You know what's another good one? Steel Magnolias. Oh my gosh, I can't even count how many times I've watched Steel Magnolias. I am most definitely, because you know how everyone says, which Golden Girl are you? Well, in Steel Magnolia, what's her fucking name? She had the big scrappy dog. And they called her by a nickname. You've never heard of Still Magnolias? Oh, baby. You got to watch Still Magnolias. It is really, it's a chick flick, but there's a lot of men out there that say they love it. They really love it. Those who squat in a home way beyond their means to try and keep up with the Joneses. Oh, yes. You're right. Shelby? No, Shelby was the daughter. She's the one that ended up, she had kidney disease or whatever it was, yeah. She had to have a transplant. But yeah, that's Shelby. But Olympia Dukakis, her character is hilarious. I fucking love her. She's great. Half of Chinkapin Parish would give their ass teeth to take a whack at Weezer. Yes! That's her. That's me. I'm Weezer. That's me! Ski, no, I'm sorry. I haven't seen the movie Field of Dreams. It's a good one. Weezer is said. Weezer. Yo. Yo. God, I love that movie. Always said my Nana was the one that had those huge glasses. Do you remember the scene at the cemetery when Olympia Dukakis' character, what was her fucking name, her character's name, and Weezer were fighting over sitting on the bench until she pushed her right off the end, and she's laughing at her, and she grabbed her hair and said, "Do your roots." Oh, God, that's me and my friends. That is me and my childhood friends all the fucking way. Yep. That is us. Clary, yes. You're Googling, you bitch. I always said my Nana was the one that had those huge glasses. If you have not seen Still Magnolias, you have not lived a life complete. You just haven't. And, I would say Shelby played the perfect spoiled, rotten, daddy's girl, get what you want. What the Okay. I've got no time for this in my life. All of the animals are sitting right there on the couch, and one of the cats just walked from in there. Something just fell over in the hallway, and it's laying sideways. And there's absolutely nothing down there that could have caused it. I'm really sick of that hallway. I think my mother made me watch that as a kid. It was probably the first time I masturbated to Julia Roberts. No, my mom was there, of course. Skyway! Hey, Skewy, I don't know what it is, but there's something laying over in the hallway, and it's been there for quite some time, and there's literally not a single animal that could have caused it. They're all just chilling right there. Shelby's the classic Southern belle. Exactly. Spoiled little daddy's girl gets what she wants. She is the epitome of a Southern belle. A modern one. A modern Southern belle. Ghost. Yeah, I don't know if it's a ghost, but it makes no sense that fell over, though. I'll get it up when I'm done here. I was going to sage the house, but I don't want to sage it. Hi, cat. Hi, baby. Get my baby. Kitty. Kitty cat. Hi, beautiful girl. How you doing, my sweetie? Oh, love my babies. I love my babies. Oh, what a good girl. I love my babies. No, she's not. She's gray and brown tabby. She's a real light gray-brown. Yeah, but she's a tabby. I've had one ginger tabby in my life, and it was hit. We lived on Springfield Road in Rocky Mount, and it was hit standing on the corner of the driveway of the fire department. And next door, they ran it over with the fire truck. Sage is calming. I don't want to clear it. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to clear it. I was going to. Is that the deaf cat? Lindy said Sailor had dementia. I don't have a deaf cat. I have a blind cat, and no, that's her daughter. That one's Cat. But Kitty Girl is the blind one, the 16-year-old. Don't want to miss anything. But anyway, yeah, they ran Boo Boo Kitty over with the fire truck during a call. And Boo Boo Kitty didn't know to move. I mean, she was just he was just sitting there on the side. You know. I don't want to even calm it. It's kind of cool to me, you know, if something happens. But they didn't know that they had hit that cat, you know. And the sad part was I was in the house and the bus dropped the kids off at the front yard right there. You know, the rural world, that's the way it is. And they came running in the door screaming hysterically. I couldn't tell if they were laughing or crying. And I spun around and they were hysterical, and Wayne screamed. Shane was just collapsed. It was her cat. And Wayne screamed, "Boo Boo Kitty's dead in the road!" And I was like, oh my God. So as they're pulling up, that's the first thing they saw. Right next door, the fire department was right next door. That's the first thing that they saw. My heart broke for them so bad. They were a mess. It was awful. Jessica Rabbit has 2 cats. She named them both Kitty. You know, ghosts are my thing, LOL. Amanda, ghosts are my thing, whether I want them to be or not. I don't even have to invite them. They just kind of chill, you know? It's like they're constantly going, "Hey, psst, over here." And I'm like, yeah, not today because I got shit to do, so get the fuck away from me. We dealt with so much of that crap. Well, you saw my videos. It's just so much of that crap, man. It's just hereditary or some crap. I don't know. You have to have an open mind, I guess. And you have to be unfiltered and open-minded and just easygoing. I guess you just have to have that second sight, literally, for it to come to you. And it doesn't have to be anybody you know, in my opinion. I think that they just, son of a bitch, I think the spirits just kind of hang around and they'll see someone or they'll sense someone that's a beacon and they'll go, "Oh, I found an open door. I'm going to use it." You know what I'm saying? I think that they just do that. A sensitive, girl, I wish I was sensitive, but I'm a super sensitive. I want to get another cat and name him Ask 'em. So when I take him to the vet and they say, ask what's his name? Ask him. Do you think you give too much credit to ghosts when there's a more reasonable explanation, like people who see UFOs then turn out to be helicopters? No, but I'm always open to it. Like I just said, I don't know that was a ghost, but I know I'm getting sick of that hallway. Ski, my cat's names are Persia and Jasmine, but I call them both Kitty. No, I don't give credit to ghosts. Like on that stream when everybody heard, I mean, I sensed that one. It was just like just chatting, and then I just sensed it. I was like, what the hell? I just caught something out of the corner of my eye, and then when I looked, I saw the bathroom door shut and the light come on. So it's like, well, the light was on. The light was on, which the light was off, because we don't leave that light on. Will never left that light on. That was his room, not ours. And then when it was over, I looked again, and the light was off. And there was nobody there. There was nobody. So that one I tried to discredit it. I thought it was the kids. And it wasn't. I still don't believe it. Really? Do you think you give... Oh, wait, I already read that. Ski My Cats, I already read that one. I'll have to check it out. The real question is, did the ghost flush? No. And Skiwee, if you'd have watched the video, we tested that as well because somebody asked, did we hear the flush? So Will went over with the camera sitting in the same spot, you know, basic position that it was that the night before. And Will went in, shut the door, and flushed. And then Will pointed something else out to me. He opened and shut his bedroom door. It is incredibly loud. And I was like, yo, we didn't hear that either. He's like, I told you it wasn't me. I was already in the bed asleep. And I know it wasn't the kids, you know. So, I mean, and I know it wasn't Doug. We have a bathroom down there. But yeah. So, I've managed to talk for an extra 45 minutes. It's an hour and 45 minutes in, and I've really enjoyed it. And this is what these chats are about for me is, I mean, there's a little trolling going on with the comments, but they're not harmful to anybody, and they do add to the conversation. So, you know, this is good stuff, and I would love to see more people contribute, which some of you have, and I appreciate it, but I want to see more people contribute similar stories. Like, how many of you have a memory of a situation similar to what I explained with my friend, that black kid that I liked so much? I mean, you know, this was fun. Well, I'm glad, Amanda. I think it's fun. It's interesting, yeah. I just would love to hear other people's shared stories, needed human interaction other than home and work. That's why I do this. I like talking to people. This lady's legit. Thank you, Stroker. That seems to be my whole life. My mom has always said, people can say what the fuck they want to say about you, Corey, but you know what? You're the real deal. If you say it, it's so, and if you don't, then it's not. And no trolling at all. There was no trolling. Jessica Rabbit really does have 2 cats named Kitty. But yeah, my mom has always said that, you know, they can say what they want about you. They can disagree with you. That's normal. That's human. But can't nobody say you're full of shit. And to this day, she says it. Can't nobody say you're full of shit. Well, I'm not full of shit. Jack's funny. I was telling them about Mount Olive pickles. I know this is stupid. I'm going to tell this quick story from today. This happened today. We were talking about pickles and how they're made because Jack asked me how pickles are made. How do they grow? And I said, well, they start off as cucumbers. He was like, no, they don't. I said, they do. I said, did you know that there's a show called How It's Made? And I bet you they have one about pickles. And I bet you do. He's your blood. He's a sweet boy. So anyway, we're going on about the pickles, and I said, let's go in and I will look. So me, Aaron, and Jack went in. Yes, he is, your baby cousin. See, you guys, I have real people in my life. Imagine that. And you're free to meet them. You are free to chat with these people in my life. So we go in, and I found this one about Mount Olive. And I said, now, Mount Olive is a place in North Carolina. The town is called Mount Olive. I said, and every year they have a pickle festival. They were like, really? That's awesome. So we watched the Mount Olive thing. It's like 13 minutes long, I believe. And as they got to the part where they said it was in North Carolina, and I told them it had started in the 20s. I said, I can't remember the year, but it was like the 1920s sometime. And when it got to that part, Jack went, oh, I said, I told you. And I had read about it, oh my God, 20 years ago. I just remembered it. I retain shit like that. It doesn't make sense, but I just do. Who's that Amanda Donaldson person? If Jack's her cousin, then Amanda is Wayne's daughter. What? No. Amanda is Jack's father's cousin. Amanda and Jack's real biological father are related. So Jack is her little cousin, like second cousin. But anyway, then they got to the part where they said that they have a festival every year. I am related through Jack's father. There you go. And Aaron looked at me, and I said, I told you. And he said, God, you know everything. And Jack went, and she doesn't lie. And I was like, oh, these kids are so funny. They look at me, you know, everyone says, you know, live your life about, what is the saying about the dog? Be the kind of person your dog thinks you are. Well, it's the same with kids. You want to present the kind of person you want your grandchildren or children to see you as. They see me that way. They're like, our Neener has Never lied to us. I've never lied to those kids. I will never lie to those kids. Because when you've got nothing to lie about, why bother? Why just be honest? Yes, some topics are difficult. And if you just lie to avoid having to deal with this very difficult topic, then you're a piece of shit. Tell them the truth. There's always a way to tell something to a child in a way that a child will understand. They say outside of a dog, a book is a man's best friend. Inside, it's too dark to read. That is very funny, Ski-Wee. Ski-Wee said that, y'all, just so you know. They say outside of a dog, a book is a man's best friend. Inside, it's too dark to read. And I have to agree with that, Ski-Wee. I was a big reader back in the day, but as my eyes went worse and worse, I read less. And I need to get back into it, but these glasses aren't the best. And I'm having a hard time finding these little dollar ones here and there. I've got to get a good pair. I miss reading. I would rather read than watch the movie any day of the week. I miss reading biographies. I love reading biographies, and I haven't read one in a while. I've read Marilyn Manson's. I've read Johnny Carson's. I've read John Belushi's. Everything just went and now it's back again. I read Johnny Carson. I read Marilyn Manson. I loaned that book out and I didn't get it back. I regret that shit. Who borrowed it? I think it was my daughter. I wonder if she still has it. My reading comprehension sucks. I'm a math junkie. Oh, I love math. I love numbers. I just do. But reading, love reading, love reading. An eye exam at Walmart only costs like $40 and glasses start around $30. Really? Is it that cheap? Last thing I read was the Harry Potter series. I read almost all of those. I missed the last two. I didn't read them. But I read all but the last two. Those are amazing books. Those are the kind of books that open your mind. And again, I will promote this book, The Dove, written by Robin Graham. Get it? Read it. If you love a book that is so descriptive you can picture it in your mind, if they talk about the salty sea hitting you in the face when you have a sunburn and you literally feel like you're feeling salt on your skin and you can taste it on your mouth, that's an amazing book. And I was 15, I want to say, or 16. I want to say I was 15 when I read that for the first time. It is a great book. I still only have one wand. But I'm going to get more. Also, JFK Profiles in Courage. Good book. And you learn from that one. He talks about the history of the Senate and Congress and how it's changed and evolved, the good and the bad in it. I mean, he talks about all of that, and it's fucking interesting. I didn't retain a lot of that. I'm going to go back and read it again. My daughter's boyfriend at that time, which is Aaron's biological father, he gave me the book. And he was like, you need to read this. It's a really good book. I said, have you actually read the book? He said, I actually read the book. That's why I bought it. He said, I got it from the library and I read it and then I loved it and I thought about checking it out again and decided to buy it instead. You have Luna's wand. Yes, I did. Thrift store. Sure did. What was it? I paid $3.99, $2.99? I can't remember. Yeah, still in the box. It's lovely, really. It's got like a little flower at the top. It's really nice. But yeah, and then of course a lot of true crimes that I read that I love. JFK Profiles in Courage is that written by JFK because he was probably dead long before Congress got this corrupt. It was written by JFK, yes. And you haven't read that, Ski-Wee? Come on. Another one, Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I did not take it to heart. I tried, but I am who I am. I'm rough around the edges. But, I'm a nonconformist, could you tell? So, that's a good one. You get a lot of good sound advice in those books, and you apply them where they work for you. Don't alter who you are, obviously. Don't change who you are because of a self-help book, but utilize the little tidbits they talk about like they say, people love to hear their name. People love to hear their name. So when they, when you're having a conversation with someone, and also it helps because if you say their name enough, you'll remember them. It's easy to forget a name, but you remember the face and you're like, so, you say it enough, in discussions, not to the point that it's fucking weird, but you will remember it, and people appreciate that. I don't read, I listen to the Dale Carnegie on audiobook, short attention span. Did you like it? Did you like pick up on some of the stuff and kind of put it to work for you, for your personality? Because that's what I did. And people do like to hear their name, and they like to be heard. If you walk into a room and you instantly start making everything about you, unless you're surrounded by a fucking fan club, it's going to get really old really quick. People want you to be interested in what they have to say. And I have a hard time with that because of my attention span. I can admit it. If people talk too long about themselves, I lose attention. Whereas there's people out there like you guys who can just sit on a side chat and listen to someone go and go and go. I can't do that. If I'm watching a hangout and it's just one person and they're just going on and on and on about themselves, I fold. I'm out. I can't do it. I just get bored with it. I don't really remember it. I listened to the audiobook while I was walking and I was probably too busy looking at the woods. Well, then you should probably get the book. Just try it, because I truly believe anyone can read happily. Everybody can fucking read I'm just saying, read happily. If you have a comfortable spot, you're winding down for whatever the reason, whether it's an afternoon wind down or a nightly wind down, and you are comfy, genuinely settled for the night. I don't recommend, if you're having a hard time getting into the groove of reading, I don't recommend jumping from a busy day to the shower and then into the bed. You're not wound down. You need to do whatever it is that you normally do to wind down and then slip into the book. That would probably help. Going to bed soon. Yeah, I'm going to Netflix soon, I think. But you should read the book because you retain the information so much better when you read it. I don't know why, you just do. I do. But, if y'all have any ideas for a good book you can suggest, and then we'll after everybody gets the book that wants to get it, we'll read it like book club, I guess, and then we'll talk about the book as we're reading it, But A Child Called It, great book. Don't take the vaccine. I don't know what you're talking about. Hello, Charlie Bear. A Child Called It is really good. The guy's name was David. Begins with a P and I can't remember it. It's gone. Anyway, A Child Called It. Get it. Get it. That is incredibly sad. A boy raised by a mother who was fine, and somewhere along the line, her mind slipped and nobody stepped in to help. And he paid the price. One Up on Wall Street was a pretty good book. I've never heard of that one. One Up on Wall Street. I'm going to tell Doug I need his credit card because I'm going to get some books. But I'm going to get them from one of these used book websites, I think. I hate to see people demand that they have a brand new book, because there's something about a book that's been read and that has been appreciated by someone else's eyes that I truly enjoy. I don't know, it just adds to it for me. Like the library. I love that, People before me have read, they've dog-eared the pages. You can see sometimes they leave a bookmark in. I remember that many times, and the librarian tends to get that stuff straight, but they do miss it some of the time. But anyway, I'm sentimental. Hugely. I gotta hit the hay. Good night, my good people. Alright, yes, me too. Thank you for coming in, Amanda, Skiwee. It's been really nice. Stroker Ace, obviously. Thanks for stopping in, Charlie. I don't know what vaccine that would be, but I am not an anti-vaxxer. Brandon, if you're still here, Jessica Rabbit. Who else? See, I'm drawing a blank. I can't fucking remember nothing. Lilypad. and Marshall. I'm still scrolling. Harold, of course. Why would I not remember Harold? What the fuck? Oh, Martha was here. So Martha. Yeah, there she is. And I think I got I'm looking at the very beginning. And Ass Rammer. Thank you for stopping in, an Ass Rammer. Who else? Celeste. Oh, Toe Sniffer Andy. See, I never even saw that the first time. I'm from Body Count Channel. He gave you a shout out. I do not believe that. That's such bullshit. That's not true. You have a whole channel where you do shout outs, but yet you don't even have a freaking profile picture? Come on, yeah, because this is my first rodeo on YouTube. Absolutely. Let me see. I'm still scrolling through. I don't want to forget anybody, you guys. I am Hop Frog. Thank you for coming in and saying hello. What is that? Hammett, whatever that is. Okay, thank you. Ava, Nina, thank you and thank you. And that's it. Thank you, everybody. Romper Room roll call. Yes. Good night, Marta. I'm going to bed too. Jessica, meet me in Tribes Chat and help me wind down with the... Oh, come on. Book Agenda 21. Really don't know what that's all about, but we don't do conspiracies over here. I'm just trying to keep my family healthy and fed and happy. Everyone have a lovely night. Thank you for stopping by and listening to my shit. Hit the red button below and hang out with me some more. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a good night. Bye.